Hi friends! Today I'll be sharing one of my club projects from March with you. I've done 2 color variations here and we'll show you a third in the video today. We'll be using the Blossoming Basket stamp set, which is actually a celebration set that is no longer available, so I will be offering some alternative options. So I've also used the Touches of Texture and Timeless Textures stamp sets for this project, and both of these have some great images that could be replaced out for those in the Blossoming Basket set. I've used a few sentiment sets as well, the Teeny Tiny Wishes set and Colorful Seasons, which I'm showing here. And an alternative awesome set for this would be one of my favorite sets in the annual catalog, Awesomely Artistic. So to get started, the first thing I'm doing is covering my piece of cardstock with the Embossing Buddy, which is an anti-static, as you may know. And then I'm going to stamp my images using Versamark, which is a clear sticky ink, and will allow the embossing powder to stick to it. I'm using that main image from the Blossoming Basket stamp set and trying to capture some of those flowers in there on the edge to sort of fill it in. And next I'm heat embossing it with my white embossing powder. And just making sure the whole thing's covered, tapping off the excess. Now I'm going to start with my sponging, and I've decided on this one to do the colors a little bit differently. I've eliminated the crushed curry, the yellow, and I'm going to be using both the Elegant Eggplant and the Rich Razzleberry to do my sponging, and then the same 2 greens that I used on the other 2, Pear Pizzazz and Garden Green. So I'm starting with the eggplant, and I always like to have sort of an odd number of places where a given ink is, generally speaking. So I did the Elegant Eggplant in 3 different places along the edge, and you might notice that when I do my sponging, I'm really pressing. I'm kind of pressing hard. The more you press, the more you fill in the gaps. So it sort of like gives you a higher resolution, sort of smoother ink coverage. And sometimes I'll find people will sort of tap or press straight down, and that gives you a different kind of texture. And I tend to like the rubbing, and as you can see me doing. And typically I'm trying to get darker edges and making sure to create some areas of highs and lows in color, some white areas, some darker and lighter areas of each given color. And so it takes a little while to play with it. So next I'm coming in with my little specks image from the Timeless Textures stamp set, and I'm stamping that little image in full ink and second ink in the Garden Green, just to give that inside some texture. I did not do that on the first 2 versions that I did, which you saw earlier. Next I'm using the image that was from the Touches of Texture stamp set, that specks that sort of covered a larger area, and I'm stamping them with the Pear Pizzazz in ink that's stamped off, so not full ink, but the second generation of ink. And then I'm going back and using the other specks in the Garden Green to add in some darker, larger specks. So now I'm preparing for the final assembly of the card, and the original card I designed used the Rich Razzleberry cardstock, so I'm folding a piece right there. But I also, of course, played with the Elegant Eggplant ink, and so I wanted to see what it might look like on an Elegant Eggplant card base. So here you see me kind of playing around with trying to figure out which one I liked better. And of course, since I used both of those colors in the sponged piece, I thought it would probably look good on either one. So you may have noticed that I started with attaching my Garden Green panel on the card body on the right-hand side, and now I'm just putting adhesive on my sponged piece and attaching it to the white card front piece. And I'm going to put dimensionals all on the back side of that. I always like some dimension in the projects that I create. So just getting that assembled. And I'm not going to actually attach it, but you kind of get the idea of what it's going to look like. So the final step is to create these cute little butterflies. I did heat emboss them in white. I used 3 different colors for the butterflies, Garden Green, Elegant Eggplant, and Rich Razzleberry, to match the colors of ink used on the card. So you probably can see here that I have already stamped and cut the banner for the sentiment. I used the Teeny Tiny Wishes Happy Birthday sentiment, as you can see. So when I do a custom banner like this, I like to do the first one and then attach it to the backing piece and then use that as a guide for cutting out the banner that's in behind, just so that it mirrors the shape exactly. So now I'm just attaching my butterflies. I like to use my paper piercing tool to pick it up and then also to press it in the middle. And there's a glue dot in the middle of each of the butterflies. So when I press it in the middle, it makes the wing sort of fly up a little bit and make it look like it's flying a little. Incidentally, I'm using the Fast Fuse for this card. It's actually a much stronger adhesive than the snail, and have learned recently that it's going to be retiring from the annual catalog as of May 31st. So as a reminder, this is one of my online and in-person stamp club projects. My club members either made these in person or will get these as a class to go. Club members also get hostess benefits once during the club cycle, plus exclusive access to additional resources through my Stamp Club VIP's Facebook page. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a great day and happy crafting.